Russia's General Armageddon seems to be missing no more. A new photo appears to show Sergei Surovikin, a top general who was seen as close to Yevgeny Prigozhin and disappeared from public view after the Wagner mercenaries' mutiny. The photo published Monday, as well as reports in Russian and foreign media, follow months of speculation about his fate. General Sergei Surovikin is out, alive, healthy, at home, with his family in Moscow, read the caption to the photo, posted to the Telegram messaging app by a news outlet run by Ksenia Sobchak, a prominent Russian journalist and former presidential candidate. The outlet added that the photo was taken on Monday. The outlet did not elaborate on how the photo was obtained. The man who Sobchak says is Surovikin can be seen in the photo walking with an unidentified woman. He is wearing blue jeans, a gray shirt, a dark baseball hat, and a pair of wide sunglasses, a departure from Surovikin's normally austere, uniformed appearance. Surovikin, also known as General Armageddon for his brutal military tactics, has not been seen in public since Prigozhin led a short-lived rebellion against the country's military leadership in June, before striking a deal with the Kremlin and standing down. Prigozhin was killed in a plane crash last month, Russian authorities said, although the exact circumstances of his death remain unknown. Surovikin is believed to have been close with Prigozhin, and it was alleged in the early days of the mutiny that the general may have had advanced knowledge of the Wagner chief's mutiny, which presented the biggest challenge to President Vladimir Putin's rule in decades. The Kremlin dismissed the reports as speculation and gossip at the time. Surovikin was last seen in a video released hours into the rebellion, asking Prigozhin and his mercenary fighters to abort their mutiny. Since then, his fate remained a mystery, amid Russian and foreign media reports that he had been arrested. Last month, Russian state media reported that Surovikin was fired as head of the country's aerospace forces. Alexei Venediktov, a prominent Russian journalist and former head of Echo Moskvy, an independent radio station authorities shut down within days of the Ukraine invasion, also said late Monday that Surovikin is at home with his family. Venediktov has been reporting on Surovikin's fate since the mutiny. The general is on leave and at the disposal of the Ministry of Defense, he said in a post on Telegram. Venediktov did not share any visuals of the general and has not commented on the photo shared by Sobchak. The New York Times also reported Monday, citing 2 U.S. officials and a person close to the Russian Defense Ministry, that Surovikin has been released. It said the general has retained his rank and is technically still an officer in the military. But it's unclear if there are any remaining restrictions on his movement or any other limits imposed by Russian authorities. Surovikin is a career soldier. He commanded Russia's aerospace forces since late 2017 and was appointed as the overall commander of Russia's forces in Ukraine last fall, before being replaced in January. He is widely considered one of the most effective Russian generals. The rumors about Surovikin's arrest and possible role in Prigozhin's rebellion have remained unconfirmed by officials in Moscow. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov declined to comment on his fate again on Tuesday. For a long time, the Ukrainian counteroffensive seemed stuck in the mud, with front lines barely moving. But now, Ukraine has achieved a breakthrough along the crucial southern front near Zaporizhia. As Ukraine's Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar reported, Ukrainian armed forces were able to break through Russian forces' first line of defense and are now continuing the counteroffensive in the vicinity of Melitopol. Our armed forces achieved success near Novodanilivka and Novoprokopivka, Maliar said. Both are villages in the Zaporizhia Oblast. In addition, Kiev is said to have reclaimed the 3 square kilometers, 1.9 square miles, near the eastern Ukrainian city Bakhmut, which has seen heavy fighting. Ukraine's counteroffensive began in June 2023. Kyiv's aim is to liberate its territories in the Zaporizhia, Donetsk, Luhansk, and Kherson regions, parts of which have been occupied by Russian forces. Ukraine is also looking to regain the Crimean Peninsula, located between the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov, which Moscow illegally annexed in 2014. Brigadier General Oleksandr Tarnovsky, commander in the Zaporizhia region, told the British Sunday newspaper The Observer that troops were currently located between the first and second lines of Russian defenses in the south of Ukraine. In the past days, there had been reports of Ukrainian armed forces making progress near the village of Robotine. At the moment, Russian troops are trying to win back lost territories with a series of counteroffensives. Initially, a breakthrough had been expected much sooner, but the Ukrainian counteroffensive was long hampered by a huge minefield, which made it more difficult for troops to advance or to evacuate the wounded, as Tarnavsky explained. Relief forces also reportedly sustained heavy fire when crossing the minefield. Australian military analyst Alan Orr believes that NATO did not sufficiently equip and train Ukrainian forces, as he told U.S. weekly news magazine Newsweek. This could in part be due to the state of the Russian forces. Russian battalion commander Alexander Khodakovsky said that his troops were suffering extreme physical and psychological stress while defending southeastern regions. Referencing Khodakovsky's statement, Sunday's report by the U.S. think tank Institute for the Study of War has therefore concluded that the situation has worsened for Russia. The ISW report went on to state that Russian soldiers were under constant Ukrainian artillery fire, and that Khodakovsky was unsure whether distressed and exhausted Russian forces will be able to defend against a future Ukrainian offensive in this sector of the front. Experts believe the breakthrough is indeed a positive step for Ukrainian forces. According to Tarnavsky, Russian forces have dedicated about 60% of their time and resources to the first line of defense. Conversely, only about 20% of available resources are dedicated to the second and third lines of defense. This is why the ISW has also estimated that Ukrainian forces are making advancements, while Russian troops are in increasingly dire circumstances. Military expert Markus Kipp told the German daily news show ZDF Heute that current movements weren't about making a spectacularly military breakthrough like in the movies, but about finding a gap in Russian defenses. This gap would have to be around 5 to 10 kilometers wide in order for Ukrainian troops to push heavy equipment or reserves through. Kipp believes Ukrainian forces are in the process of finding this gap. So this is a very dangerous moment for Russian forces. Tarnavsky said that Ukrainian forces were pushing ahead towards the Russian-occupied cities of Tokmak and Melitopol near the Sea of Azov. There are no reports yet on how large the recaptured territory there is. Ukraine's goal is to continue on to the Sea of Azov, 90 kilometers further south, to separate Russian troops. Kipp told ZDF Heute the city of Tokmak was of crucial importance because several important highways and one vital railroad track ran through the area. That meant that Russian logistics could be cut off very efficiently from that location, Kipp said. This made Tokmak a sort of guard post for the territory stretching towards the Black Sea. If Ukraine reaches the coast of the Black Sea and is able to fire upon Crimea, Kipp believes the war would be strategically lost for Russia. In a podcast by German weekly Stern, security expert Christian Malling said that Ukraine had about 2 months left before adverse weather made larger movements impossible. But a lot would be gained, he said, if Ukraine managed to place a wedge further south, so that the entire landmass stretching to the Sea of Azov can be held under artillery fire. This would slow down supplies to Russian troops.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days.